Well, I asked you guys in the poll yesterday which video title you guys would like to have, and you guys pretty overwhelmingly chose my unpopular farming sim opinions. So in today's video, I'm going to give you guys some of my unpopular opinions. And to kind of sweeten the pot a little bit, I'm going to tell you guys why I think it's an unpopular opinion, or kind of like prove that not a lot of people have this opinion. Okay, my first unpopular opinion is that I don't like it when the days are too long. I hate it when time moves too slowly. I know that this is an unpopular opinion because there's been a few games recently that they've actually been patched to make the time go slower. So games like Harvest Moon One World and Harvestella, they've both changed to make the days slower. For me, I like to just wake up, do some farming, and then do a couple of other things, and then kind of feel a little bit pressured to then go back and go to sleep and then start the next day. Kind of going along with my point of I don't like it when the time in the day goes too slowly. I also don't like it when there's too many days in the season. For me, I want to just wake up, do some farming, maybe do a few other things, and then I want it to be like, okay, now I need to hurry up, go back, and go to sleep. I kind of like there to be a little bit of pressure. And also, I like it for the seasons to go by more quickly. I don't like it when one season drags on too long. This can be a problem in games where maybe you can't farm in the winter. Then the winter feels really long and boring, and I don't like that. If time was faster and if the seasons went by faster, then this wouldn't be a problem. Side note, also, if you play the Atelier series, I like the time limits, and I don't like there not being time limits, because when there's time limits on things, then I kind of like that added bonus of, okay, I have to hurry up and do this, and then that gratification that comes from completing it. But if you don't have time limits, then it's just like, I don't really feel that drive to hurry up and do the things that I'm supposed to do. Unpopular opinion number 2 is I don't like divorce in my farming sims, and I also just don't like being the bad guy or anything in my games. I don't like being a bad person in games. I know in Stardew Valley, there's a scene where if you're dating all the people in the town, then there's an extra scene that you can watch. I'm never going to see that scene because I can't imagine hurting the feelings of the NPCs in the game. And actually, this doesn't just go for farming sims, it goes for pretty much every game that I play. There's actually been games that I've had to stop playing because I felt too bad while playing them. I don't remember if it was Breath of Fire 3 or 4, but in the game, you have to sneak into somewhere, and then to sneak in there, you have to murder some dogs that are guarding the place. And I was just like, I can't do this. So I turned the game off, and I never went back to it. But yeah, the divorce thing, it's a big no for me. I know Stardew Valley had it in its game, and they had special scenes and stuff like that, but I would never do that. And then just tacking onto that, I also don't like selling my animals, letting an animal die, all of those kind of bad things. I don't like to do it. Number 3, I actually don't know if this is an unpopular opinion among gamers, but it seems to be an unpopular opinion among game developers, so I'm adding it. And that is, I want a farming game that has battling in it, but the battling is turn-based. We have a lot of games that are like Rune Factory, Harvestella, even kind of Stardew Valley. They're kind of like action RPG with farming-based elements. But I want to see a game that is farming and turn-based battles. I do know that there are kind of a couple games that are kind of like this, there's Tavern Bar Story, and kind of maybe you could say the Atelier series is also kind of like this, but none of those games have really had a focus on the farm. So in my mind, there hasn't been a big budget game that's like Rune Factory or Harvestella that has a farm and lets you have turn-based battles. To me, so someone asked me in the past, what was your perfect farming game? For me, this is what it would be. Number 1, you have a farm and all that stuff is really fun. 2, there's a village that you go to and you can meet other people. And then number 3, you could recruit some people in the town to be a part of your party. And then you would go to either a mine or a dungeon or something like that. And you'd fight monsters in a turn-based system. Then, of course, the monsters would have different things that they drop, and then you get to go back to your farm and then use those for crafting. Will we ever see a big budget game like this? I'm hoping that we do, but I'm also not holding my breath because, as we said, this might be an unpopular opinion. And I think I've saved my most controversial opinion for last, and that is that the new Natsume Harvest Moon games are not as bad as people make them out to be. And actually, they could become good games if they could just make a few small changes. I do think that it's kind of scummy the way that Natsume kept the rights to the name Harvest Moon. And so, like, yeah, I don't really agree with that practice. But that being said, at least on the plus side, we get more farming games. Then again, it has prevented us from getting the Super Nintendo and N64 versions of Harvest Moon on the Nintendo Switch Online, which affects me personally and really annoys me. So, like, I still am kind of mad at Natsume, but I don't think that the games that they put out are that bad. Both Light of Hope and One World, like, they're not perfect, but, like, there is some fun to be had there. Well, there you guys have it, my unpopular farming game opinions. If you strongly disagree with any of them, please let me know in the comments why you disagree. If you agree with any of them, make sure you let me know in the comments as well that you also feel that way. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time.